He's so incredible in what the plethora of things that he does. I mean, I know where we're going with this.
Is he in your top 10?
Yeah, he's in my top 10.
Is he ahead of Larry Bird?
You got a strange top 10.
Hold on, is he ahead of Larry Bird?
No.
No.
But go ahead and look, I don't agree. I think he's second greatest of all time next to Jordan. But I did tell Nick, I can understand how some people, Larry Bird was better than most people think. And so make your argument for Bird, because I know Nick.
Please. Larry Bird, by the way, I don't think he was trash. I think he's the 9th greatest player ever. So, but go ahead.
So we're arguing. You know, it's like
of course we are what we do.
Of course, we're nitpicking. Yeah.
My point has always been this about LeBron. He's great. Okay, he's incredible in a Magic Johnson sort of way in that he generally makes others better, and he loads up the stat sheet like we've never seen before. And part of the loading up the stat sheet is basketball's played differently than it's ever been played before. There's a ball dominance with the best player in terms of the percentage of times which you have your ball in your hands to make plays. You're talking about more possessions, more three-point shots, more points,
sure,
and you're going to have greater stats. So it's stats a little bit on steroids. But a blind man can see he's an incredible dominant player, and he's either been the best or the second best player in the league for the last decade. That said, when it comes down to the end of a game in a championship series, I would rather have Larry Bird have the basketball. I would rather have Magic Johnson have the basketball. I would rather have Michael Jordan have the basketball.
Based on what?
Based upon what I've watched in NBA Finals and Eastern Conference Finals. You know, he has had some moments like when he carried the Cavs early in his career. Was it 25, 26 straight points against the Detroit Pistons 48. That were incredible. One thing that sometimes is missed is when Ray Allen hit the shot in the corner, he did hit shots in order to bring them back. Game 7 of the same series with the Spurs, he was the only one with any gas in the tank, and he carried his team. But by and large, and maybe this is me looking back with tinted lenses, Michael Jordan was always not only the best player, but the go-to player who was willing to take and make the big shot and the big play. And occasionally, when double-teamed, he would make the big pass.
What about Bird? I want to hear the Bird. Because if Bird's better than him.
Did you live through the Bird?
Hey, Doug, I'm going to tell you something real quick. Hold on. I didn't live through World War II, but I could write a 30-page essay on it. So you didn't have to live through it, all right? Like, I mean, if you had to live through something, Bird, nobody could ever write an obituary.
Let me say this about Bird.
That's a terrible argument.
You can bring up, like, the points you're talking about is Boston, his last year in Cleveland in his first stint. That series, he faded when they lost in 6 in the second round. Dallas, obviously, he faded in his first championship run or finals.
And since then, he has the greatest 7-year run in the history of the league.
Larry Bird, in his first finals championship, they won, he had 2 8-point games in that series. Yeah. If LeBron did something like that, he would be demolished for it. And Cedric Maxwell was the MVP of that final series. Sure. People would have taken that, like, some people would have acted like LeBron didn't even win that title if one of his role-playing teammates was the MVP.
Go ahead.
No, just the idea that I just would rather these guys. I have no numbers to back it up because LeBron, of course, has better career field goal percentage on game-winning shots in the regular season and the playoffs than Kobe or Jordan. Oh, but in the biggest moments, I just feel it, even though, of course, LeBron averages the most points in Game 7s in NBA history and the most points when facing elimination in NBA history. Oh, but it was just this, there was something. There's nothing.
No, it's pretty simple. I mean, last night's is an example, right, where LeBron can be great, but he needs that other guy to carry him. He needs the Kyrie Irving to make the shots down the stretch against the Warriors in Game 7.
The Warriors in Game 7, you mean the final 3 games that they won, where he averaged 36, 12, and 9 in those last 3 games against the greatest team ever?
He was amazing. But I'm not diminishing the amount of amazing he was. Remember, when Larry Bird, there was fewer teams in the league. The teams were a little bit more loaded. So when he was playing against the Lakers in the NBA Finals, the Lakers had a plethora of Hall of Famers, much like the Warriors.
What did the Celtics have?
But so too did the Celtics, right? So it's a completely different scale where they had more weapons then.
What was Bird better at?
Bird's a better shooter. It's not close. I think Bird is as good or better as a passer. Bird's a better rebounder. Now, the difference is you're going to look at the rebound numbers and you're going to quote me some stats. But the fact is that Larry Bird didn't stay healthy. And the fact is that basketball is played so differently now. Whereas if it was played back then, if he played back then, he'd be there's no power forwards in the game. There's no specific rebounders.
I'm not going to quote you some stat on rebounding. I'll concede the rebounding point. LeBron James obviously has a higher field goal percentage. In the playoffs, even has a higher three-point percentage. Now, you can say it doesn't matter, but those are just the numbers.
Don't say he's a better shooter.
No, he's not a better shooter. He's not a better shooter. He is a better scorer. Larry Bird averaged 22 points a game for his career. LeBron averages 27. He is a better scorer. Bird's one of the greatest shooters ever. The idea that anyone who's ever played the game is a better passer than LeBron outside of Magic Johnson, I reject on its face.
Okay, let's say Mark Jackson's a better passer. John Stockton, Steve Nash, they're all better passers. They're not better passers. There's maybe not a better 6'8" passer, but there's plenty of better passers.
A lot of point guards.
Rajon Rondo's a better passer.
Okay,
but you're talking about as a power forward as a passer. Larry Bird was a better passer, in my mind, a much more fluid, much more natural passer than LeBron James, a creative passer. LeBron James, for a superstar, he's as good a passer as anyone outside of maybe Magic and Bird. Bird was a better passer.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.